Soldier Boy tough. Hey, I got this new dance for y'all called the Soldier Boy. You just gotta punch, then crank back 3 times from left to right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Becoming Her. It is your girl, Nina Simone.
And it is your girl, Julia Brunetti.
And we are so happy to have you all back and listening in or watching, whatever you're doing, because you could be driving, you could be cooking, you could, whatever, okay? But we're just so glad to have you all. And today, we will be talking about from hurt to healing, finding strength after struggles, okay? That is our topic. That is our title for today. And we really hope that this impacts or touches at least one of you guys that are watching. But before we get into that, we're going to do a quick little icebreaker. Really, it's like a game. We're going to play a version of not even Uno, okay? But we're going to use Uno cards. So if you haven't looked up like different games to play with Uno cards, here's your sign. We're going to play this game called Uno War. Okay. And the rules of it are, I already explained them to her, but the rules are each person is going to flip their card over at the same time. So we're going to each get 10 cards. We flip the top card over at the same time. Whoever has the highest number wins that round, takes the cards. If we end up tying, so say we get like a 3 and a 3, we have to draw from the remaining deck, draw 2 more cards, and then flip that top card. And whoever wins takes those cards. Pretty simple, pretty easy. So if you have not played this is something quick and fun to do maybe with kids or something like that. But yeah, let's get into it.
All right. So we're going to start with 10 cards each.
Mm-hmm. Make sure they shuffle them real good, okay? Don't play. Don't cheat. Period. Come on, you better pass some cards out.
Okay.
Is that 10?
I believe so.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, well, we're not supposed to.
Oh, yeah, you weren't supposed to look at them, but it's all right, okay?
Okay, it is 10, though.
Yes, it's 10. You ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. What is it? A 6. What is it?
A 3.
And I win. Okay. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3. A 3. Oops, like she wins again. Hello. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Boom. Ooh, a 6. And a 3.
I don't like this. This is a life game.
Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Boom.
There you go.
She got me on that one. A 1 and an 8, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, she catching back up. She catching back up. I got a 4. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Dang.
5 and 1.
5 and 1.
Now we're even.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
3 and 4.
That's me.
Ooh,
that's me.
Lead.
1, 2, 3. Oh. Oh, we got the tie.
Ooh.
So now we have to pick 2 cards up. So you'll go first or 1. Oh, I didn't even grab 2. My bad. Okay, and we flip the top card. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Boom. Ooh, that's me. And I take all of them.
All of them.
Yeah. Even this one too. Hello. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. What's that? Oh, dang. I'm looking like, hold on. She got me on that one. 1, 2.
How do I got 2?
Because you. Oh, I don't know. Dang, I really think it's because that round where we picked up 2.
Yeah, I think. Because I think that you also put away like the second one that you draw. Maybe that one was supposed to stay on the deck.
Oh.
Well, it's okay. I'm up for 1 now.
Okay.
Which one I'm gonna choose?
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Boom. That's me.
She won.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hey.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she won.
But yeah, I think I did win.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got 10. You should have 12 because you got the extra 2.
10, 11, 12. Oh, it's because I kept... Yeah. But I did still win. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyways, whoever has the most cards at the end wins. Okay? Pretty simple, pretty cute. Okay?
Very
a nice
demure.
little war. Very what?
Very demure.
Period. Okay? And on that note, you guys, we are going to transition right in.
But before we actually get to that part of the episode, I just have a little shout out, a little special shout out for this episode, which goes to Dreamer2000, K1K, #1 commenter under our videos. We are starting this episode the right way with our legs
nice and crossed. Okay. Yes. Now, will they end up like this?
We can't promise that.
We don't know, but we starting off right.
But we are being mindful and starting the episode right.
Period. Okay. And on that note, we are going to transition right in. Like I said, we're going to be talking about transitioning from pain to healing and finding strength. So let's dive into it. You go ahead and pop us off, Julia.
Yes. So I definitely think that personally, I think, and we discussed it in the episodes prior. In order to heal, I think that a key step is just being able to be vulnerable and accept, just kind of accept emotions, going through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of reinstate that. Why do we think it's important to validate and feel your emotions when going through a healing stage or when being hurt?
So whenever I'm hurt, personally, why I feel like it's important to validate those feelings is so that you won't like drive yourself crazy or, feel like you're less than, I don't want it to beat down my confidence. So I go ahead and validate what I'm feeling, although I don't allow that to dictate my actions.
Totally.
So I validate what I'm feeling, even though, some people may be like, you're being a little irrational right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I go ahead and validate those feelings, but again, you can't act irrationally just because what you're feeling is, or just because you're validating what you're feeling. It might not equate to how you should react to the situation or the pain or the struggle in that sense. I think it's important for you to sit and let the feelings marinate instead of, again, being a very reactive person, which in my history, I have been known to be reactive because I just kind of like to go ahead and get it out. Mm-hmm. So that way I don't have to really just deal with them any longer. But I do think, with maturity and emotional intelligence, kind of leveling that stuff up, I think that sitting in it and like feeling your feelings, it's the more mature route to go.
Yeah.
So
totally.
What about you?
I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that in order to just being able to go through a phase of, a phase in life where you're hurting, regardless of what the reason of hurt could be, like a heartbreak or, a loss or self issues, whatever the case is. But I do think that it's important for you to sit with that pain, to understand it, to really just understand its root and what are the patterns that are making you maybe act a certain way. And the only way to understand all of that is sitting with it, because when you do things that maybe get your mind off of the problem, they can make you feel better in the moment, but it's still not going to fix it or solve it. And they can go with, with positive things, but also with negative things. Mm-hmm. So, you can get your mind off of pain, off of something, doing something like alcohol, like drinking, or, using drugs, which those are definitely not the healthy ways.
The coping,
to cope, exactly. Yeah. Or you can do other things, like maybe going to take a walk, or maybe dancing. Like for us, it's a big release, dancing. But even though it makes you feel better, it still doesn't fix your problem. So in order to heal, you can do those things that help you feel better, but you still need to sit through it, to validate your emotion, recognize that you're hurting. It's okay to be hurt. And then just sit through it and try to understand what you can do to heal, to feel better. What are the things that can help you in the process?
Yeah. Let us know in the comments as well. What are some things that can help you in the process of, or that ways that you cope with pain and hurt or heartbreak or, loss? Let us know in the comments. We would like to, pick people's brains a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, even, for example, for me, just to give a small example, sitting with the emotion, it helps you understand more. Because see, when I was going through, when I was with my marriage and in my marriage, and I was going through all my, my divorce and just like all the different emotions that can be in a failed marriage. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I had to sit with it. I had to just kind of like reflect. And that really gave me enlightenment of understanding that it wasn't just the present, but a lot of what went wrong came from my childhood, from what I've seen, from what I experienced in my childhood. I was able to connect the dots. And so when it came to healing, I was able to heal the current me, but I had to also start from the child me in order to just like grown and I guess like flourish into like the new healed version of me. But I had to sit there and, just like think, okay, like these things went wrong. And you know what? As I sit here and I think about it, these things are very similar to the things that I've seen with my mom and dad. And so, but the only way to the only way that I would have been able to get to that point was really just like me sitting with myself and like just reminiscing, and for me, like I did it through journaling, talking to other people. So there's different tools that we can use.
Yeah, I was going to say, she touched on something important. It's healing your inner child. I feel like, I read a book and we talked about this before. We need to link the books that we read in the description, but I read a book called The Inner Work of Relationships. And even though you're single, in a relationship, married, whatever it is, or just dating, I do think that that's a good book for you to read individually. And then if you're with somebody, read it together with your partner. But The Inner Work of Relationships, and then the subcategory was healing your inner child. I think that's very important. That book goes into depth. Again, the healing from when you start adolescence all the way up until you're, grown and at your current age, but it takes you back. It makes you really reflect on your childhood and the things you may have been experiencing during your childhood that makes you the way you are today. Helps you figure out why you react the way you do, or why you love a certain way, if you're codependent. So I think that's a great book. I'm going to link that in the description. You need to read it? Girl, I need to give you that book. Yes. Honestly, I think you would really, I think it would be a lot of insight.
I think that codependency was definitely one of the things that I struggled with the most.
Me too. And I don't even know, I tried to figure out where that came from, even when I was reading it. And maybe it's because I've always had my parents in my life, and they've kind of, not coddled me, but they've been there. You know what I'm saying? They've been very supportive. Anything I need, they've been able to supply it.
So in a way, it's almost as if you hope, you expect to find like a solid, it's like, okay, anytime that I need something, I know I can rely on you, I can count on you.
Yep.
And that reliability, it's hard to find nowadays.
It starts to turn into codependency. Yep. So now at this age, I'm 26, I'm, some people start later than others. I'm finally coming into my okay, this is real life. You're grown now. Stepping into my womanhood, not trying to rely on my parents as much. But I am very blessed and grateful to have parents, that have been there and that still will show up for me even at this age. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, my codependency was, I don't know, I think it came more from a need of wanting to help and to change, right? And so at that point, it would just be like, I don't know, I've noticed that there would often be this parent-child dynamic in my relationship.
Oh, wow.
Where I would be the parent and they would be the child.
And men hate that, where it's like, they look for the characteristics that their mother had, but they don't want it to seem like you're mothering them.
But see, that created that codependency because being that I was finding these men child, because at the end of the day, they don't know how to take care of themselves. Yeah. So they don't know how to pay bills. They don't know how to lead and be a man. They don't know how to be taken care of. They need someone that takes care of them. And it's like, I want to take care of them, I wanted to. And so there was this codependency, but at the same time, that's not the dynamic that should happen in our relationship. And so then of course the bump heads would happen because I would be frustrated because, I'd be like, oh, why are you not working still? It's been a year and you're still not working, and he will be like, oh, stop nagging at me because I would, be like a mom. So it's like, there's a lot more that goes into it. We might maybe have one episode around codependency.
Yeah, let's do that for sure.
Do you have any personal experiences that you can maybe share as far as you coping with your own trauma, accepting, going through the motion pretty much and really just getting to, sharing some things with you?
Yeah. So, one that is very memorable for me was a point in my life where, how old was I? I'm 26 now. This had to be in 2017. How long ago was that?
17.
5 years. I need to do some math. 8 years ago.
That's still with the fingers.
Sorry. Don't judge, okay? But this was in 2017. Okay, don't do too much. I think it was about 7 years ago, 8 years ago, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of young.
7-14.
Yeah.
24, so it's 7. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I was kind of young, right? And I was still in college. I was dating my first boyfriend, okay, and my first like real relationship. I thought I was in love. May have been. I really don't know, but there was a time where I remember we broke up, and this was for good. Now we were broken up for good, and that was the biggest heartbreak I think I had ever experienced, right? And it's because I feel like, again, I may have already been developing these codependency traits. And, I think that I was like relying on him for my happiness in a way. So we had broken up, and it was such a painful period. I think I want to say I was going through that period for like a couple months. And my mom, she would always ask me like, get up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get up, and you're not going to feel better being in the slump and laying down all day and just, watching sad movies or whatever I was doing at the time. I can't really remember, but I know it wasn't a good way to cope because I wasn't really doing anything. I was being lazy, didn't have motivation. So there was one day, it was like a switch went off, and I was like, do you really want to stay here?
Yeah.
Is this really where you want to be? You know what I'm saying? Like, in this state of hurt and like, just always being sad or blah, 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 blah. So I eventually got up that day. I remember I started writing. I went and bought like a little diary or journal, whatever you want to call it. Started writing about my feelings and automatically started feeling better already. Did that like change in a day? No, of course not. I was still hurt, but that's probably the most memorable time period of dealing with pain and like coping with it. So I would write. I would put that. I know, right? I was like, what was that? I would put those.
He mad at your ex.
No, for real. I cannot. I would put those emotions into my craft because at that time I had just started dancing, so I was dancing every day. What else was I doing? Dancing, writing. I think those were the two main things. And exercising. I was working out a lot at that time because I was like revenge body on the way. Okay. So those were the three main things I was doing to cope. And I think it helped. And also just talking to my mom about it, although she would give her unwarranted advice sometimes, she was still a great listening ear. And those are my ways to cope, honestly.
I love that you have that relationship with your mom, though, that you're able to just talk about.
Yeah.
I have that too. I feel like I'm blessed to have that too.
But your mom's just not here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. But see, like, I just want to point out on that. That's a great example of strength, of the strength of a woman, to just like stand up for herself and, get out of a situation and wanting genuinely better for themselves.
Yeah.
But the goal is to not get to that point where you're just completely drained of every emotion. And that's what we're here today.
Yeah.
Because the point is just love yourself enough to be at the beginning stages to be like, okay, no, this is already too many red flags already.
Yeah.
I deserve better. I see these things, these patterns, and it's like I'm not willing to put myself through it, to see how it's gonna go, or like just for love. Like, no, like I love me more.
And that goes with friendships and romantic relationships, and even your family. You got to set boundaries. That's a whole nother topic that we could go over another day.
Boundaries with family.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Like even they have to know, like, no, this isn't okay with me. This is something that is a trigger for me. So no, and it's okay to go ahead and set those boundaries. But yeah. And then you told your story about your grandmother, or was it something else?
I did mention, I mean, that's another one too. I did mention the one more, like, with my marriage, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting through it and, understanding patterns. But yeah, to give another example, like, in a different scenario, like when it comes to losing someone, for example.
Yeah. I feel like you've talked about this too on another episode. Maybe not.
It was the original.
Oh.
I know.
That's hilarious. Woo, y'all. But we've talked about this in person anyway, so yeah, I'm getting it mixed up.
Yeah, we did multiple times, but like for the loss of, if you lose someone in your life, everybody goes through grief differently, of course, and everybody goes through pain. Like, all of these different type of pains gets processed differently. We're just sharing ways that we went through them that helped us cope with it. But yeah, like even when I lost my grandma, I wasn't really able to sit with my pain. I just kind of was doing things, to not think about it. Kind of like her. It's similar. It was a completely different, instance, but I also, was trying to dance more. I was trying to work a lot. I was going to the gym. I was doing anything in my power to just kind of not think about it and get my mind off of it. And then one day I just sit with it and it just hit me all in a sudden, like, oh wow, my Nana is not with me anymore. And, it was hard for me to accept because she's in Italy and I wasn't able to be there when it all happened, to be close to her. She was always just terrified of that day. Like she would be like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to see you go to elementary school.
Not elementary.
Come on now. I wonder if I'm going to see you with your first boyfriend. I wonder if I will see you get married. But like she would say these things to my mom too. I wonder if I'll see you get married. And like she was like, what, 40s when she... So it's like,
so how old was she around that time when you say she was being dramatic to you?
Probably like in her 60s.
Oh.
My grandma's just always been a very dramatic.
And although your day can come anytime, 60s is still considered young, honestly.
I think that was her theme. The fact that she was like, breezy.
Look, I'm like...
Stay, okay?
Yeah, you're going to have to just sit there.
But yeah, the fact that, she was always like that. I think for her, it was just knowing that it can't happen at any time. A lot of people in her life died also very young. So
okay.
I think that she was just scared of that. But yeah, I just kind of sat through it. And then one day it just hit me. I had to sit with it. I had to cry. I had to just accept the fact that my grandma wasn't here anymore. I had to just, cherish the good moments. And then it's crazy how actually after that happened, I ended up getting closer when in my spirituality, because it was like, I just knew that I was going to have someone on my side, and up there. And it's crazy how just in general that released my need of control from the everyday things of life. Because before it's like I needed to have everything under control. Know what was going to happen. If something was going to go wrong, no, I have control over it. I can change it. I can make it better.
Yeah.
And that's what was getting me stuck in the loop. The fact that I just thought I had control over things that you really don't have control over. Like you can't change a person. You don't have control over that. But after my grandma passed, that just made me realize that it's like, okay, like I don't have control over this. And, I know that she's on my side. She's going to help me. So
for sure.
If it's meant to be, it'll be. If it's not, it's not. And, even when bad things would happen, I knew that it couldn't just happen because of a punishment. If it was happening, I knew that my grandma was on my side. So there must have been a reason if something bad was happening to me. Like whether that it was just like rebuilding or, just learning a lesson. So
yeah.
But I would have never figured all of that out if I would have not allowed myself to just sit with my pain and just go through the motion.
Mm-hmm. And with that being said, every healing journey is unique. So it's not going to look the same for everybody. We're just giving y'all personal experiences in ways that we cope with hurt or loss or heartbreak, whatever it may be. So that's another good topic to put in the comments. Yeah. How do you cope with that? Is that what I asked first? No, I don't think so. Because I said it at the beginning. Yeah. Y'all, we talking a lot, so I can't remember what I said first. But either way, put it in the comments. How do you deal with, heartbreak, loss, whatever it may be? But yeah. So as far as your key steps to healing, we kind of already named ways that we cope with healing,
like dance.
Yeah, those are kind of like what we find as our therapy almost. But key steps to healing, I would say after doing some research, are self-awareness. So I think that that's a big one.
Totally.
Because that helps you recognize that you need healing.
Again, you get it just by sitting with it.
Literally. Like how some people say, I don't need therapy. I think everybody kind of
everybody does.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how healthy you think you are.
Yes.
You need them.
I think that self-awareness is key. First of all, you have to acknowledge that the problem is there. Okay. And accept it. So, don't neglect your healing. That goes for anybody out there. Heal. Okay. Take the proper steps to heal, because at the end of the day, you're neglecting of your healing is going to only make you suffer, and then the people around you are going to suffer because you're not healing.
And to give a specific example, think about a relationship, right? Like you get out of a relationship and right after you jump into another one. Mm-hmm. You don't let yourself the time to heal. What's going to happen? You're going to jump in a brand new relationship. Things are probably not going to work out because you're still not healed, because there's definitely something went wrong and you're not taking the time to realize what that happened. So you're going to end up not only hurting yourself because now you have two relationships that are failed that you're trying to go through and understand, but you're also going to end up hurting the other person because that ended up being a rebound, just something to get your mind off of the actual problem, which was what went wrong in the relationship.
And that's so unfair.
That is unfair. That is unfair to yourself, but most importantly to
that the other person.
So, because
most of the time they develop feelings for you, for real.
And then now you have another person that is hurt and is having to heal because you never healed in the first place.
Talk about it. Okay. And we're not only talking to you guys, we're talking to ourselves at the same time. Yeah. Okay. Because we're not perfect at all.
Oh, no, at all.
You know, this is us like making sure that we're talking to ourselves. Okay.
But see, self-awareness, we definitely have that self-awareness to just know that we're not right. We definitely make mistakes too. And we're open, like point out when we say something, or, you know, like if we make any mistakes, you know, like, hey, you know what? I think that this is not a good healing, you know, a good healing technique. All right. I'm all about it. Like, let me know.
Cause we'll tell each other like certain stories we share, and Julia would be like, I don't think that's the best.
Yeah. Like,
I don't think that's the best.
Maybe you could have avoided saying that, you know?
I'd be like, well, I wanted to, okay? But I get what you're saying. Next time I'll do better. So yeah, we definitely are not perfect. We're just, you know, making sure that we're sharing, again, our experiences. And then another one, self-compassion. So really just allowing yourself the grace to go through the healing process.
Be kind to yourself.
Be nice to yourself, yeah. Like, we already have the world beaten down on us every day. What is the point in ourselves adding it? You know, like, why are we adding that to ourselves? So really just be kind to yourself. I think that's very important. That's something that I used to struggle with a lot. I used to like beat myself up and be like, why did I do that? Yeah. Why did I say that? You know what I'm saying?
Like, oh, you're so stupid.
Yeah. Like,
no, don't do that.
Yeah.
You're not stupid. You're just innocent.
Yeah. I'm just a girl.
I'm just a girl.
Literally. But, you know, no, you're good. That was, that's a big thing. I think that everybody can learn to do better, because we give everybody else around us grace, but then when it comes to ourselves, it's like, where's that?
You're going to give that, like, you know, you're going to give us like 3, 4, 5, 6, 20 chances.
You can give yourself 20 chances.
You know?
Come on now. So that's a big one. Okay. Tools for healing. Again, we said journaling was one.
Yes.
Therapy is one that's listed. Mindfulness. I've always thought of this. I'm pretty like, I struggle at meditation. I don't know.
Like to just keep focused with it?
Yeah. I just cannot. I'll be sitting there like.
Really?
I'll start looking around like, what?
I feel like we did it. We did it a couple of times.
We did it that one time in Arkansas, right?
Yeah.
And that wasn't half bad because it was short.
Mm-hmm. See, I think that's the thing. I think that the misconception is that meditation, you're supposed to meditate for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, like I do meditations, but it's really like 5-10 minutes. If it's 15, that's really too long for me.
Look, she's like, that's pushing it.
You know, yeah, but it's like, I still feel like those 5-10 minutes are very helpful. Mm-hmm. Like in the moment, in the morning, for example, like to just set the intention for the day, you know, like again, a positive mindset where you're not just like talking down on yourself. It's like when you talk down on yourself, your mind starts absorbing that.
Yeah, and you start believing it.
Yeah, and you start believing it. But it's like at the same time, if out loud, instead of being like, oh, damn, I'm so stupid, I left the keys inside, you know, and you're like, oh, I'm so forgetful, I'm so silly, I forget the keys inside, you know, like that's different. Like just saying, oh, I forgot the keys inside, from, oh, I'm so stupid, I forgot that. Because it doesn't sound like it will, but I genuinely promise you that it makes a huge difference in your mind, being able to up talk, I guess, on yourself.
Yeah, like positive, like talk to yourself positively.
Yeah. And so even just simply like a morning meditation where you're just like, okay, today is going to be a great day. And it's guided. So they literally tell you, you're just repeating it in your mind. You know, like it just helps in setting the intention. Today is going to be a great day. Today there's going to be challenges, but I'm going to push through them, you know, like, successfully, I guess. I'm struggling with words.
Yeah, that's a good word.
So yeah, that really helps. And then even I feel like that's a great thing to do if you're going through something. Because like, for example, there are times where I get panic attacks.
Like still? Like now?
Now it's very rare.
Okay.
I actually did happen to have one like maybe like about a month ago or so. But when I start catching myself having those, I guess, symptoms, like you definitely do feel your heart just going very fast. You feel pressure in your stomach. Like I've just learned to recognize the triggers, I guess, or just like the symptoms, I guess, of when it's about to come. And that's definitely like a technique that I use often because it just kind of grounds you in the moment. It tells you, okay, like just move your toes, feel the energy flowing through your fingers. So you're not just, you get out of your mind and you start grounding your mind on the present, on things that are certain for sure.
I've never experienced a panic attack.
I don't wish that on you, I'm not gonna lie.
I was gonna say, I don't think I have. And if I did, maybe way back when I was younger, to where I can't even remember. But I don't think I have.
Just to get you to understand how codependent and dramatic, my very first panic attack was actually in middle school. Or actually, no, it was in high school. I'm sorry. It was like my first year of high school. And there was this guy, which was my very first love. And it actually comes out that he catfished me. So I don't even know what this
Wait, what do you mean?
I got catfished. And, well, this person was abusing me mentally a lot. Like, for example, he wouldn't talk to me for like 2-3 days, right? Completely disappear, completely ghosted. So then hold on. So then I would be like, I would end things. I would text him and be like, wow, like 3 days without talking to me. Like, you know what? Like, that's okay. Like, I don't need this,
Period.
I don't want this. Cause like, how can you go 3 days without talking to me? So like, we're just over.
And you knew that in middle school that's like something you didn't want.
High school. It was high school.
High school.
Yeah, it started in middle school, not gonna lie, but the first panics, attacks, and stuff actually happened in high school.
But the fact you already knew, like, I don't need this in high school, that's good.
But what had happened, that when I would end things, right, he would come back after 3-4 days, and he would be like, oh wow, my dad was beating the fuck out of me. I was grounded for a whole week. I didn't have a phone. He wasn't even giving me food. Like, he would say that he came from a very, like, fucked up situation, like family-wise. And so then what would happen, that I would feel bad. Because I'd be like, damn, like, like he spent, like, I would believe on the fact that he spent a whole week, like getting mistreated by his dad, like he would be like, I went to the hospital, like all type of crazy things. And that's why I have trust issues. But he would say all these things. And so then I would be like, oh damn, I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't know that all of this was going on. Yeah. And so the flip was script. I would find myself begging for forgiveness for somebody that completely neglected me for like 7 days, pretty much. And I would find myself just like begging for forgiveness.
That's wild. Not in high school already?
That had started in high school. And I think that's what then defined a lot of the relationships after that I had, because there would always be, I would struggle with end things because I'd be like, well, what if they have a good, like valid excuse that I just don't know about, And so I would just give the benefit of the doubt and stuff. Wow. But that was my very first panic attack, because I remember I had ended things, and then he had texted me and he was like, wow, I was at the hospital. And like, that was the very first, I was bullied a lot because I was very fat. And so that was the very first time ever in my life that somebody showed some kindness towards me, a man. And, like that was my very first, and I knew that there were a lot of things that, just the math ain't math, like I never talked to you on the phone. I never video called you. But part of me was just believing that was true because, I don't know.
So you never even met this dude. That's what you mean. I'm like, well, how do you catfish in high school?
For 3 times, I went to the train station waiting at nothing. And same thing, I would just end things, and then he would come up, like being like, oh, like I got robbed, or, my dad,
no.
Like, girl, all type of things. And I would believe it, because,
naive, just young, don't know no better.
Naive, just young.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
And I think that actually created like a lot of emotional damage.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I was very, very young, and I didn't talk to my parents about it at the time, because, but because, like, how do you say it? Like, it would just make me look stupid.
Right,
and I didn't want to hear that, and then, Yeah, there was a lot of emotional abuse too. Like he would, like just call me stupid, and like, but he was also very nice. And so
at the same time,
like you would have that treat me like shit, but then you would come back and we would have this, when it's like, oh my God, I missed you so much. So that was extremely unhealthy.
Wow. Wow. Okay. But and then also, so we said those are some tools for healing: journaling, therapy, meditation, of course, prayer. Is another one for anybody, whoever you believe in, whatever you believe in, prayer. And that takes me back to what you said earlier, getting closer to God. That was a great tool for me. And still is to this day. Whenever, really just anytime, just getting closer to God will make me feel better regardless. But especially when I'm going through this healing process, of whatever I'm going through at the time. So that's a good one. And then you have the role of time. Mm-hmm. So that's where we make sure like we're being patient, trust the process, don't rush
Isn't it. Isn't there like a saying that says time heals?
Time heals all?
Something like that.
I don't know. No, Time Heals All. That's a song. By Don Toliver. If you don't know it, go listen to it. But I mean, I feel like time heals all. It does. I really do think that that's a true saying, and a great title for the song. Good job, Don Toliver. I approve. And then, of course, reminding yourself that healing is not a straight line. It's not linear. It goes like this. Okay. And I heard somebody I forgot what I was watching, but I think it was another podcast. Yes, it was V. Simone's podcast, and Jacob Scipio, the dude from Bad Boys 4, he said that this reminds you of a heartbeat. This is how you know you're still alive, right? Yeah. This flatlined. So if your healing journey is like this, it's dead. You're dead. You know what I'm saying? But when you're healing, you're like this, you're still alive. There's still life there. There's still breath there. Yeah. I love that. Come on, Jacob Scipio. Yeah. Period. Go watch that episode of B. Simone's podcast, by the way. Okay. And then we are moving on.
Would you say, do you have any extra, I guess, steps to healing or anything that wasn't mentioned?
Like wasn't mentioned? Prayer, journaling, of course, dance for me, reading. Mm-hmm. I like to read a lot because I feel like when you read, it opens your mind up to several different things. How you perceive the words on a paper can be different from if you hear somebody speaking. So I think reading just opens your minds up to several different things. What else? What is another one? You have another one? I think that's it.
I feel like I have maybe like a couple. One would be to have a good support system. Mm-hmm. A support system, I consider that like other people, people that you can value, people that you can trust, people that you can vent, that can support you, So like, doesn't matter what you're going through, you can go, you can vent, that they can listen to you, that they can give you advice if you like to, but don't go through it by yourself. It is very important to have people, that can even just ground you, like, cause a lot of times, you might think something and it's like that person could just kind of like bring you back to reality. Like, hey, you're being a little too dramatic. It's okay. It's going to be okay. So definitely that. And just being able to feel understood, I feel like music does it a lot for me. Like, I'm definitely that type of person that when I'm sad, I listen to sad music. And
really?
A lot of people, when they're sad, they're like, why do you listen to sad music? Just listen to happy music so that it cheers you on. No, when I'm sad, I need to acknowledge that. I need someone that is going to sing what I'm feeling so that I can sit through and be like,
yo. You can relate.
Yeah. I know what you mean, Chris. I know what you mean. But, tell me who. But anyways, yeah, that's my number one. And then definitely, which is kind of like journaling, just like make sure to talk about it. And, we always mention journaling because that works great for us. But if it's not journaling, still let it out. Do not keep it all in your mind. Talk about it with a friend, talk about it with a therapist, write it down, do voice recordings on your phone, record yourself
video
on your phone,
diary.
and then you can delete it as far as you care. You know what I mean? But just let it out.
Yeah, this is our way of letting it out, talking to you guys, because again, we're currently going through our own healing journeys, right? But this is almost like
I was
a video diary. No, for real.
Yeah.
This is like a great video diary to talk about those feelings and, you know, ways that we're coping currently to you guys. So, yeah.
Yeah, because all of this is in real time. Like, we're not talking about, oh yeah, when I was healing.
No,
like,
for real.
we're still healing.
We're healing, okay? I love it here, though. So, yeah. Period. Oh, she's already here? Oh, period. Y'all, we're having a guest on another episode, so she's already here, but we're gonna finish this up really quick.
Okay.
Where are we at? Finding strength and empowerment.
So finding strength and empowerment. I have a deja vu.
You said what?
I have a deja vu.
Not deja vu.
That's
funny.
Yes. So, okay. So in all of this, we talked about healing. We talk about tools to healing. We talk about getting hurt. Mm-hmm. But in all of this, all these struggles can actually do something positive for you, which is build your resilience and personal growth. How do you feel about that? How do you think that exactly hurt and healing can just contribute into that personal growth and becoming a little bit more resilient through life?
Because I feel like every time you fall, you got to pick yourself up. You know,
it teaches you.
Yeah,
it teaches you how to pick.
You have to pick yourself back up. I think that if you allow the hurt and the healing to keep you down, you're never going to get through life. Honestly, you'll always be miserable. You'll always be sad. It'll always be something, you know what I'm saying? So, allowing yourself to go through the hurt and the healing, like we just said, the dude where he said the up and down, you know, you still have life. There's something to live for. So falling down and then picking yourself back up is the most resilient thing you can do, you know, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I think that makes you powerful. I feel like it's empowering whenever you're able to be like, dang, I was just down there. And look at me now, you know?
I'm getting pink.
Look at me now. Yeah.
Look at me now.
Okay. Period. But yeah, that's what.
They can try to be on my shit.
Not you know the lyrics.
I do. Hell, Breezy. Let me show you how to keep the dash running when doing that thing over there, homie. Let's go. Because I'm feeling like I'm running and I feel like I gotta get away. But I know that I don't and I won't ever stop because, you know, I gotta win every day. They say they really, really want to pop me. Just know that you will never find me. And I know that I can be a little cocky. You're never gonna stop me. And then.
Oh, yeah, no, because he went way too fast.
I know that part too, but.
You know that?
A little bit.
Girl, bye.
A little bit.
No, ma'am.
It was my summer project. When they was like, you know what, this summer I'm going to learn that song. Because see, for me being an Italian, I got to literally study the lyrics. Like, I remember I was reading a sentence and then repeating it like 10 times. But anyways.
Period. Resilience.
Okay. Don't let language barrier stop you. You know, just push through it. You can do it.
Literally. So do you have, or you were just talking about resilience. How do you feel? You know, do you feel like that helps you with resilience, falling down?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. See, like, for example, like, it just reminds me, you know, that I'm just my biggest worry in my story. Like, for example, specifically, when I was in high school, I kind of mentioned it, I was getting bullied. Man, I really think I went through the worst times of my life. Like, because, like, I was getting bullied. I had no friends. I literally had 2 friends. One of the 2 would actually switch up on me every other day. But I had like 2 friends. We're still friends now. I love you. But I had 2 friends. Everybody was just like talking shit. And
dang.
Yeah, cause pretty much I had like I said that this dude was beautiful, right? Well, it comes out that he was the boyfriend of one of my classmates and she was the most popular girl. And so after that, she was just like, I do not like her. What'd you say about my boyfriend? And I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know y'all were together. I just said he's cute. That's it. But yeah, so she decided to make my life hell. And, yeah, that I was getting catfished and my parents were getting divorced, like just other family issues. So I did not like myself. Like it was just like so much. And I really thought I wasn't going to be here. Like I really thought I wasn't gonna push through all of that. Like I really thought that life was just so terrible. Like I was cutting myself. Like I tried one time to just like not be here anymore. Yeah.
What? And so how did you get through that? Like did your mom find out or did?
Yeah, so my mom one time I remember I was washing my hair and like she saw my arm and she was like, Julia, what is that? And I remember she cried a lot. And my mom is amazing. She's an amazing woman. Because after that, you know, like, she was just very hurt. And she was trying to understand. And she was like, please don't do that. Like, if you ever at any point feel like doing it, like just call me. You know, if you're at school, I'll come pick you up. You know, like we can go eat something, we can go to a park, like I'll get your mind off of it, but just don't do it, just call me.
Wow.
So my mom definitely
we love supportive moms.
Yeah, my mom definitely played a huge role into that. And then I kind of got forced, well, I mean, I was already going to psychology, like to therapist, just because of other family issues. But I was struggling to find someone that I would feel comfortable with talking about those problems. Until then I found Paula, which is like still nowadays, because you know in Italy healthcare is free. So sometimes when I'm going through the motions,
healthcare is free.
When I go through the motion, I just text her and I'm like, "Hey girl, I need to talk. I don't feel good." And
that
so
must be nice.
We set up an appointment, which you know, like with time frame, we can really just do a video call.
Yeah.
So we set up an appointment, and then I just have my sessions with her, even though I live here in America. So
that is wild.
Yeah. So I'm definitely very grateful to have that privilege, I want to say. But those were the things that helped me out. Just the support of my mom, going to therapy, having supportive friends, and then you know just kind of like trying to get my mind. Like I think the therapist was honestly like the biggest help at the time. But the fact that I went through that, I genuinely remember that it was such a dark place in my life, but so dark that anything that I've faced after, I was like, man.
If I made it through that,
because mind you, I had nobody. I was a little kid alone in the world. I didn't feel comfortable with talking to my parents about what was going on, especially because like my dad was in the picture, and like he's educational ways were a little bit questionable, and so yeah, so it was just a tough time. But now I'm here. And I'm like
to tell the story,
you know, and it definitely helped out the resilience, because like once you go, it's like, okay, I can do. I've been there, done that. You know what I mean? I've done it once. I can do it twice. Like I know I can do it. I proved myself that I can do it. You know, so
I love that.
Yeah, so just don't give up. So
I love that. Okay.
Sit through the healing. Go ahead, sit through the hurt, heal, and then that's gonna be your biggest testimony of your own power and your own strength.
Yeah. And then there was another section about rebuilding confidence, but honestly, y'all, go back and watch me and my mama's episode, because we talked about that. We hit that, okay? So I don't want to like beat a dead horse, basically. So if you have not seen the self-worth and self-confidence episode with my mom, go back and watch that, all right? But on that note, I feel like we pretty much hit everything we needed to hit today, honestly. And this was a good episode.
It was. It really was.
Episode 5, y'all.
Episode 5. Can y'all believe it?
Look, we're getting through it, okay? Yeah. Like, we hit a little milestone. But we appreciate you guys again for always listening or watching, whatever you're doing, again, taking the time out to support us and show love. Again, leave a comment on the couple things that we listed for you all. And before we go, what are we doing this week to become her? What are you doing? Look, I'm like, let me think real quick.
I think for me specifically is mastering the attachment. Like, I still think like at times I try to do things that, or maybe that's not the word, but anyways, I still try to do things that just kind of distract me, I guess, from my pain. Just because it's like, I know that I gotta sit through it. Yeah. Because I'm hurt. But then I'm like, yeah. You know, let me just go to dance. You know, let me just paint for a little bit. But it's like, yeah, you just gotta force yourself. So for me, it's really just.
Okay, that's a good one though. What am I gonna do this week to become her and to heal? I would say I already journal a lot. Well, no, I've actually kind of fallen off. So I want to get back on. And I think it's because I haven't really been going through anything. But I feel like I still want to journal even when I'm not like...
To have that peace.
I still want to journal even when I'm not kind of like going through like such a hard time.
Especially because it helps you keep the habit.
Yeah, you know. So right now, you guys, I'm not really like this right now because I was for a while. Like, I feel like we were going through the same thing for a while.
We're still kind of are.
Yeah. But again, if you saw like the first episode, eliminating the distractions, so like men was my biggest distraction, and I feel like here recently, I have not really been distracted by them anymore, so here lately I've just been kind of chilling, minding my business, loving on myself, dating myself, but there's days where I'll be like, I want some companionship.
See, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's either you choose between being serene and by yourself, but then you feel lonely and you feel sad because you're lonely, or you expose yourself and you get vulnerable. But exposing yourself, you also 9 times out of 10 end up getting hurt. Yeah. And so then you gotta go through healing again. So it's like,
which one?
Do I stay peaceful but still sad because I'm lonely, or do I give it a try and then like?
And of course, I'm always for give it a try. I feel like love, the love makes the world go round.
It does.
I feel like you have to.
I love love.
Me too.
You know what? Sorry, we're getting on this.
No, for real. Sorry, you guys. Look, now we're about to start talking about
like a whole brand new podcast. Episode 6, guys.
No, literally. But yes, I think I'm gonna get back onto my journaling. Even though life has been a little bit more, like you said, serene for me. I do still want to hold myself accountable to that, and also that's why I told you guys. Again, we're raw, we're authentic. So if I'm gonna preach to the choir about journaling, I need to be doing it myself, even when it's peaceful. So yeah, you guys, we thank y'all for tuning in and watching, and we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Soldier boy, I been it. Why me crack it? Why me roll? Why me crack that soldier boy? That Superman. Now why me crack that soldier? Now why me crack that soldier? Now why me crack that soldier? Now why me crack that soldier?